rebuilding. The catastrophic failure, a new start, physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey guys, welcome back to the Silverback Blueprint Podcast, episode number 16. Have you found your inner circle? So a few episodes ago, we were talking about your circle of five, the who you hang out with the most. Basically you become the sum, total of that, the average of that. So if you're hanging out with four losers, you become the fifth loser. If you're hanging out with people that challenge you and playing a bigger game than you are, it'll bring your game up. And we touched on that. So obviously at this point now, I want to be able to, talk a bit about have you done that? And what that's been like and what that can be like when we're trying to do it. Finding your inner circle or creating your inner circle is definitely not going to be easy at first. I mean, it all depends on how much you're willing to step outside your comfort zone, whether you believe in it or not. I'm sure there's some people out there that just think that's a crock of shit and they're not going to do it. And that's okay too. I mean, that's where you are, that's where you are. So, there's a few ways you can go about doing it. Sometimes it's simple as just looking at the list of friends and family you have now and think about who are the ones you like to hang with the most, who are the ones you feel most comfortable with, who are the ones that you find more interesting. Maybe create a list and see what that's like. Maybe create another list as well as the ones that aren't good for you, And it doesn't even have to be that you don't like them anymore or you can't like them, but they're in a different state, they're in a different place. One of my things is, I'm coming up on 3 years sober. It'll be 3 years, October 2017. And there's some guys I don't hang out with because, I don't drink anymore. They're great guys, right? And a lot of times I miss hanging out with them. But, there's some of my drinking buddies, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's where they are. I have an issue, so I've dealt, and I'm dealing with my issue, of course. But it doesn't mean that they have one, and I'm not there to judge. But at the same token, if it was great to go hang out on a Friday night and pound back a bunch of beers and watch sports and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, that's just not something I can do. All of a sudden the whole atmosphere changes, right? They're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I'll tell you right now, being sober is a different mindset. When you're at a party or in a group, my attention span is not quite the same. We've all been there where we get to a party late and everyone's 22 beers ahead of you and stuff like that. They're pretty fucking annoying, even though they're having a good time. And, and I'm not there to take away anyone's good time. You do what you want to do. However, I'm also not there to put myself in a situation where temptation's one thing, but just discomfort, right? At the end of the day, if it's not enjoyable, then, I don't want to put myself through that, right? Now, it doesn't mean I don't hang out with them. I do, but we'll do it in a different scenario, a different type of events, or I'll stay for an hour instead of 7 hours and pass out on the couch, right? So those are the things that had to change. And have I lost a few friends from it? Yeah, I've lost a few friends. But my true friends, they get it and they appreciate it, they understand it, and they respect it, right? And it's up to me too to make sure that I do take some steps to make sure I still connect with them on other levels, so that I keep that friendship. However, it's not where I'm going to be able to spend the bulk of my time and my energy and stuff. So changing that was definitely, a big step. Now, luckily, I had a lot of other people that when I spent time with them, they did challenge me, they did motivate me, they did inspire me. You'll hear me talk a lot about the guys from Rhapsody, Eric and Trevor. I just really like hanging out with those guys, super positive guys, getting shit done guys. They're not perfect. No one's perfect, right? But they make me want to play a better game and stuff, right? So to me, that's pretty important. I love hanging out at the gym because when everyone's here, we're here to work out, we're here to get better, we're here to get fitter. And to me, that's super important overall. And I like being around that. And some of it's leadership and some of it is, motivating me as well too. So to me, that's really important. So that's another aspect I do it. But again, when you're sort of starting there and you're realizing you have to do something different, it can be daunting. Take some small steps, make those lists, the good ones, the ones that are good for you, or the ones that are leading you in the direction you want to go, and the ones that pull you away from that direction where you want to go. Right? We're always moving away from something or towards something. We decide what that's going to be, right? And it's our responsibility based on the quality of life that we want to have, how we want to do it. But you want to do it in a group so that you can be inspired, you can be motivated, you can be accountable, right? That kind of thing. That makes a big difference as well. So how far along have you come on creating that? How far along, have you gotten? What are some of the stumbling blocks that you run into? If you got a question on this or, that kind of stuff, fire me an email, kurthaas@gmail.com. Say, hey, Kurt, I'm trying to do this, but here's something I'm running into, or how would I do that? I'd be happy to answer your question and give you, the benefit of some of my experience and stuff. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going after them. That's my thing in life right now, is to keep pushing forward. And then a part of that too is also what I like to do, and what's important to me and what fulfills me is helping others. Hence, the podcast and what I do as a business and stuff, help other people achieve a better quality of life. And again, makes me more accountable and makes me have to, be sharper on my end as well too. So if you have that if you got a stumbling block, send me that email, send me that message. Let me know what I can do for you guys on that. And sometimes you're going to have to go actively, search, and see what's out there. There's other groups out there, Hostile. That's part of what we are. We're group training and stuff, and you're hanging out with like and similar people trying to achieve similar goals, right? So you're not going at it alone. But not an easy thing to do, not a comfortable thing to do. You're going to have some negative happen when, your friends are like, "Whoa, what are you doing that for?" Because they don't want to see you change because they like you the way they are, or they like the situation the way it is, or they don't want to see you do steps to improve because it makes them feel like they should be doing something, and they're going to try and perform all kinds of mental gymnastics to justify why they don't have to change, and you're the one with the problem. And that's a reality. That's going to happen, but you got to get a little tougher than that. And that's the heavy lifting at the beginning of anything new that we do. And then just find that one person. Or look at someone in your daily life that you see, you interact with, or you're around, and if they have some of the stuff that you want, if they're in a position where you want to be, that you like that, well, start to study them a bit, see what they're doing. How do they spend their time? Look at successful people that are successful in areas you want to be successful in, right? And it's not all about, hey, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to have this car, or I want to have this vacation, or this house. If that truly is one of those things are your thing, then those are the things you want to look at pursuing, but try to do it in, a positive manner and a fulfilling manner. But then look at someone who's actively doing that or being there that you want to see. And then what are they doing? What time do they get up? Where do they go? What time do they go to bed? Where do they spend their time? How do they dress? How do they talk? All those things are clues as to how to achieve what they're doing and stuff. And, you may look at someone and you think that, they got their shit going on, and you start to dig a little deeper and realize they've got some cool stuff going on, but they've also got some flaws. They're human as well. And that's okay too, right? We're not meant to be perfect, and we shouldn't strive for that, but we can definitely work on getting better for ourselves. But that's the big thing. If you listen to or read anything that Anthony Robbins has done, he's always talking about how he'll look at a situation, he'll look at a person that's doing the skill that he wants to teach, and he'll just start to emulate everything from how they stand, how they breathe, how they function, what they say. And then he'll create a whole list of things, and it might not be perfect, but it'll really start to move him along the way to getting to how to create that or learn that skill. And it's the same thing. You get up early in the morning, you get more shit done. I don't care what anybody says. You can say you're a night owl and stuff. I'm a night owl. It's up to me. I'd stay up till 2 in the morning. But when I get up at 5, 6, or 7 in the morning, I get a lot more done. When I get up at 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I get less done, right? It's just, you can say whatever you want, but there's some truth in just the fact that, that works and sleeping in doesn't work. You're sick, you need to get an extra day's sleep once in a while. That's okay. But as a rule, right? People that work out, people that, 2 to 3 to 4 times a week exercise are fitter, are healthier, get more done because they have more energy. It's not rocket science, but there is science behind it, right? That kind of thing. We talked in the last episode, a couple episodes ago, about reading, right? Super important. You look at people that are interesting, that have a lot going on, that are just doing things, that are living life on their terms. Most of them read. Now, there's always, I say most because there's always the odd exception. But again, we're looking for, the averages, the consistencies, things that we can see and that we can incorporate in our lives, that we can make part of our rituals that make a big difference and stuff. Don't do that. Don't be that guy that sits there and goes, oh yeah, but you see that guy, he doesn't read and he's super successful. Well, that might be 1 out of 100 people, right? All you're doing there is making a fucking excuse why you're not going to do it. You're just looking for that one thing to justify, he drank all his life and lived to be 102 years old. Well, maybe he was a miserable fucking cunt for the last 30 years and stuff too. Is that what you want? I mean, at the end of the day, right, you can pick apart anything as far as a negative goes as well, and to use it to justify for not doing something. So you decide, like I said earlier, you're moving away from something. So if you don't want to make a decision, you don't want to change, or you don't want to put that work in, well, then you turn around and you do that. You pick out that, oh, I remember that guy, he used to do that and he's okay. Or you're moving towards improving, and then you turn around and you look at that same person and go, oh, look, he does this, and he does this. You focus on the positive things that you can use all that information and data coming in to solidify or to build an argument for either outcome that you want. But you decide which way you want to go. So anyway, like I said earlier, if you have any questions or you're running into some stumbling blocks about how to develop an inner circle or your circle of 5 as we talk about it, send me that email, kurthaas@gmail.com. If you guys can, it would be really greatly appreciated if you headed over to iTunes and left us a 5-star review and subscribed. I really appreciate that, and it goes a long way to helping us move up the charts. We want to get out there and be heard by more and more guys. So that really, if you got anything, if you're getting anything out of these podcasts, that's a great way to help us out as well. I'll talk to you guys later.